What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with West Ham Fan TV Live. We do this every couple of days now, it seems. Every couple of days now, it seems. Just sorting out the chat so we can see this chat. Obviously, I've got my old mate Ryan Archer with me. How you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. You?
Yeah,
I've just seen the title of this video. We're SKINT.
Well, that's to be honest with you, that's what I want to talk about first. Thanks for everyone that's joining in the chat. Thank you very much. As the title says, mate, we better start talking about it. Are we SKINT?
Well, if the rumours are true, mate, yeah, we are. But I don't believe that. I think there is still money there, but not a lot. So yeah, I'll take it. We are SKINT.
Does it add up? If you know what I mean, does it add up to the reason we ask? I mean, look, I know we've spent a lot of money, but we've also recouped a little bit as well. You know what I mean? Like, but to be honest with you, I'll let you say your piece first.
No, go on, you say your piece, mate. Because
well,
I want to hear.
To be honest, it doesn't really bother me because. In a way, I know we need another centre midfielder. I know this, I know that. But we've gone and added what we needed to add, if that makes sense. Is Jamie's creeping around the corner here? What's going on? Yeah. Jamie, my little boy. All right, go in then.
Let's go 4 hat tricks.
Well done, mate. Well done. All right, that's good. Look.
Sign him up.
45 million quid for Haller. 25 million quid for Fornals. I know we've got rid of an Outovich. I know we've got rid of a few other, sort of fringe players. But apart from a midfielder and probably another striker, which I didn't expect us to go out and, strikers cost a lot of money. From what they said we had to spend in the summer, it sort of adds up to a point. The only thing that annoys me is the fact that we've saved a lot of money on wages, so there's money there to spend on wages, which they seem to deny for some reason.
No, I agree with what you're saying. Like, we've gone out, we've got the big name striker we wanted. We've obviously got Fornals. You've got the 2 goalkeepers we brought in. We've got a good enough squad, fully fit anyway. So it was just about a few additions. But we can go out now and we can go and get, just because we ain't got no sort of money to spend on big transfers. There's no reason why we can't go and get a couple of free transfers and a few loans that are going to work out well for West Ham. Like you said, the wages is there. So maybe that's what their plans are. I know, look, everyone wants to go out and spend 20, 30 million on a striker, and midfielders. And we're in desperate need of a left back. I mean, I see your video you've done, the 5 negative video. And I agree, we do need to strengthen the left back. And I think we need a cover at right back as well, because I just don't think Zabaleta's up to it. But yeah, look, there's no reason why we can't go out and get a couple of loan signings or free transfers. It looks like Obiang's on his way out. Should be in the next 24 hours. So we've got to replace him.
The only thing that I would say is when you see that, look, people have quoted to me Leicester today about Leicester. They've gone out and paid £45 million for a centre forward or a midfielder, sorry, and another 25 million. They've sort of spent a bit similar money to us. But just remember, they were just about to recoup £80 million for the sale of Maguire. So once they've recouped that sort of money, they haven't spent nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Leicester are not going to go out and spend that sort of money if they knew that they weren't going to get it back. And as you said, Harry Maguire is going to pay for most of their transfer budget, what they spent so far. So, look, it's frustrating when you hear, I mean, there's a lot of websites that have come out, certain websites, and just said, oh, we're SKINT. And as soon as they say that, you're going to get the whole of Twitter and social media jumping on it, having a go at the board, having a go at this, that, and the other. When sometimes, I'll say it straight, they should just keep their mouth shut. I don't know whether the club attend them to do it, but why should we have it seems like when we have positives at West Ham with the sign of Allaire and Fornals and that straight away a negative has to come out and people want to jump on it. It's like the pre-season games as well. I mean, we lose 1-0 to Newcastle. You'd think our season was over.
I mean, my we spoke about the pre-season game. It's never about results. Like, it's never about results in pre-season. It's a tournament. Yeah, you want to win these tournaments, but I was quite happy with the showing against Man City in the first half, to be quite honest with you. At the end of the day, they are the best team in England. Yeah, we let ourselves down a little bit against Newcastle, but it's all about sort of experimenting with the team. You know what I mean? Like, we had Josh Cullen starting. For me, it was sort of his last chance saloon for Josh Cullen. He got tried. I don't think he's going to make it in this league, I'm afraid. I'd love to see him, because I love to see an homegrown kid come through and all that. But I think that was sort of like, the sort of test. And to be honest, Shelvey and their other midfielder running around in rings.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, some of our fans turn their noses up at John Joe Shelvey, and he sort of run the midfield the other day. I mean, the way he sprays the ball about is something that we could do with West Ham. But look, as you're going on pre-season results,
and he put. I'll tell you what, he puts in a fucking challenge as well.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, as well, when you look at pre-season results, the year under Avram Grant, mate, we won every game and we got relegated. So if you lost all the pre-season games, but you turn up and win 1-0 against Man City on the opening day, who's going to remember pre-season?
Yes, that absolutely, mate. I've never understood the sort of fanfare around these friendlies and people expecting you to win every game. We're West Ham at the end of the day. Let's take some comments. George Parrish donated £2. Said, "Evening, lads." Evening, George. Someone else donated £2 and said, "Go get an ice cream." That was growing 3D perspective. Buy Ryan an ice cream.
Cheers, mate.
A lot of people saying Jamie should be signed up for the team because he scored 4 hat-tricks. Signed up for West Ham as an extra striker. He's talking about a game called Rocket League. I don't know whether anyone's played that. Good to see Winston Reid back as an option in defence from Paul Heldnet. I agree with that, because I put in my 5 positives and negatives. One of the positives was Winston Reid coming back.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see Winston Reid coming back. As I said in the last show, he's been a great servant for West Ham, and I just hope he's over his sort of injury nightmare now, and he can try to get back in the first team. But with Balbuena and Diop on form, it's going to be tough for him. But look, Winston Reid's a proven professional. He'll want to get his head down and get stuck in.
Someone said poor connection. It's not. I don't think it's my connection. It will sort itself out in a minute anyway. Hello from California, lad, says Hammer Moulder. Forever Blowing Bubbles, which West Ham players you putting into your fantasy Premier League?
I don't play it, mate. The reason I don't play it is because I don't keep up with it. First couple of weeks, I'm all over it, and then I sort of forget about it.
Yeah, and then you don't do the transfers, and you got 3 players in there that are injured for the season. George Perry says, even if we are skint, there's no excuse for us not to challenge for Europa places. No, do you know what? We might be skint, and they might be, playing the paupers card. We've done that before and gone out and signed people at the end of the season. The thing I like about it is we're adding quality, and Fornells looks like a quality signing. Haller looks like another quality signing. And I think that's what we need to be doing. We need to be adding like 2 or 3 real quality signings rather than bringing in the 13, 14. Remember that season when we brought in like 14 and it was like Faguli, Torre, and all that sort of thing? That fucked us right up.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it, but we do need to add at least another 2 or 3 players. And whether they're loans or frees, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, I'm just reading a story here now about the Rangers boy, Alfredo Morelos, that's been linked with us. They're talking about us getting him, obviously buying him, but we send Diagana to Rangers as part of the deal for the season, which I think if we're going to loan Diagana out for the season, maybe going to Rangers would be a good thing for him.
I think so. Yeah, Rangers is a good club. They're going to be at the top of the SPL. It's sort of like a championship level. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's smash it in Scotland. So
I like the look of Diangana. I think he's he just needs a bit toughening up, I think.
Apparently there was reports in a Turkish media as well that we've agreed deals with that Gary Medal.
Yeah.
Which
Long
is
long-term target. Yeah.
he can play what, right back and centre midfield.
Yeah.
So look, that's cover for both them positions. Then if Obiang does go, and obviously, as I said earlier, for Zabaleta, because I don't know about you, but watching them two pre-season games, Zabaleta just looked. It just didn't look up to pace for me, and it's worrying that if Fredericks does get injured long term, I'd rather play Antonio there than Zabaleta. And I don't want to knock Zabaleta because he's a true professional, you know. But sometimes you just got to admit, sort of, when you're not up to pace no more, and maybe giving him the 1 year deal was a bit too soon. You know what I mean? Maybe we should have just let him go.
He's going back to Argentina at the end of the year, obviously. Let's take some comments. Amos Chat says, evening, lads. FG says, I'd like to see Dean Garner go out on loan. Got some potential, but seems too lightweight for the Prem. I agree with that. FGG, forever blowing bubbles. Fabianski for me. 3D perspective, Wilshire forever. Freema says, I read somewhere that reason why we haven't spent before last summer is Gold and Sully have brought their debt down. False. I don't think that's true, if I'm honest. I think they're due to get paid off this year at some point. Matthew Jarvis, if you're in charge, would you get rid of? If you were in charge, who would you get rid of the books this summer? I think everyone that needs to go is gone.
Yeah, we've got rid of the majority of sort of deadwood, as you want to say. But as I said a little while ago, me personally, I wouldn't have given Zabaleta a new deal. I would have gone out and got another right back to come in and challenge Fredericks. And I mean, some people were talking about maybe playing Zabaleta in the middle, like in the centre mid, if we needed him. I mean, that was all right 2 seasons ago when we needed him desperate. But you wouldn't want to imagine putting Zabaleta in midfield now. Like, the game's sort of moved on now.
He's be honest with you, like, I love him, Zabaleta. I'm not going to knock him. He's given us 2 good years. But he was on his last legs when he came to us. He gave us everything that he had left. And I think it's just 1 season too many for him.
Yeah, 100%. As I said, since he joined the club, he's been a true professional, you know. But I just think it showed in the last few games last season and so far in pre-season that I don't think he's going to be up for it. And Fredericks is injured that first game of the season, and we have to play Zabaleta right back against Man City. It'd be worrying.
Ricky Yates says, do you think Ben Johnson will get a chance this season? I really do hope so. He was one of my positives from the tour of China, to be honest. Go on.
No, I was saying I enjoyed watching him as well. I don't think he done anything wrong. It's always tough in pre-season, isn't it? Because you never really play with your first choice 11. You always mix them about. So you're going to lose games. And as I said, it's about finding the right team, getting the right fitness all ready for Man City on the first game of the season.
Someone said, do you think this will be his breakthrough season? Listen, we will start to get a real grasp of the team in the next 2 games, Fulham and Bilbao. And you'll start to get, especially the Bilbao game, you'll start to get a little taste of what's in his plans, I think.
Yeah, you'll probably see sort of first half against Bilbao will probably be near enough to starting lineup that's going to be against Man City. That's what they usually tend to do, don't they?
Yeah.
So you'll probably get about 8 or 9 out of the starting 11 that day will be playing. Unless they pick up injuries, of course. That's the only thing worrying. You know, you love all these big pre-season home games. I mean, we haven't had one since Juventus at the London Stadium. So it's going to be nice to have a home pre-season friendly, hopefully get a nice little win and then move on to the big one the week after, Manchester City.
Sofian Aftab says, lads, we went from Stuart down into Felipe Anderson, West Ham, or PM. I don't know what PM means, but something the kids are saying, I suppose. Yeah, I like Downing when he was with, especially when in the middle. Tony Wall, do you think Yarmolenko makes a starting 11?
Yeah, I think he does. If he can have a good couple of games. Fulham. We play. Who else do we play? Is it Hertha Berlin we play?
Yeah, we've got one in the middle, haven't we?
Yeah, and then we play Bilbao. So yeah, as long as he can get his little bit of fitness up again, then I don't see why not.
Someone keeps on saying about Nicola. I said this the other day. I don't know whether I'm not seeing anything from a girl called Nicola. Nick Berlin, still weak defence and forwards. Any injuries and we are knackered. I agree. We need another forward. Brendan Multiply says, how do Haller adapts to Prem will be the key to our season pans out. I agree, but I think he'll do very well. Do you think we are being screwed over for the Hugh Gill deal, paying him $2.5 million to compensate him?
Yeah, I mean, me and Dan spoke about this on the last live show we done, and it's a dodgy deal, isn't it? Definitely. I mean, David Moyes' son is his agent, and Preston's David Moyes' old club, so he's obviously done him a favour. Got 10 million for Hugill.
£10 million.
Listen, you can't blame Jordan Hugill for turning down 18 grand a week at Wigan when he can stay at West Ham and earn 35. So the deal's got to be right for him and for the club.
With people slagging him off on social media and that, I said this from the very start. It's like, at the end of the day, it's not his fault. He got bought by the club. You know, he was probably, well away at Preston. He got bought by the club. They've offered him ridiculous amount of wages for a player of his caliber. They offered a ridiculous amount of money for a player of his caliber. And now people are moaning that we can't get rid of him. Well, what do you expect him to do? Do you think he should just up sticks and leave? Because, like fucking up in sticks from Preston and coming all the way down to London on the premise that you're going to be playing Premier League football, playing about 50 minutes and then 9 months later you're off again. What the fuck do you expect him to? 18 months later, sorry, you're off again. What the fuck do you expect him to do? I'd be digging my heels in as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, especially when he's not had a chance. If he had played like 10, 15 games and done nothing in them, then you could sort of understand. But how many minutes has he actually played for West Ham in the first team? Not a lot.
50.
So,
50.
50 minutes.
50 competitive minutes, yeah.
It's you've got to do something special in 50 minutes to prove you're a proven Premier League striker. Like, some players come in and score a hat-trick on their debut and things like that.
Yeah, look at Zaza. Zaza didn't do anything in 13 games. He's Italian international.
Yeah, I know. Mate, you can go back to legends of the Premier League like Thierry Henry and Bergkamp. They never scored in their first 15, 20 games. You know what I mean? So it happens. But another rumour that I see is about that Spanish team that the Brazilian Ronaldo. I don't know if he's like a director of football there or something. He wants to make him his number one target. Now, if we were to lose Hernandez in this window, we'd only be left with Haller
and Haller,
which is worrying. But I can't see Hernandez going. If I'm honest, he's been given the number 9 shirt. He's probably told he's going to get more game time this season. See out his last year, and then he'll probably go off and join an American team or something to see out the rest of his career.
I think Hugh Gill was a panic buy, says Nicola Meyer. That must be the Nicola everyone's talking to. Yeah, I agree. He must have been a panic buy. Someone said West Ham fans run from the Millwall bushwhackers giving up any opportunity. Well, if there's a group of men running after me, I'll be on my toes. So, yeah, no problem. Darren Clarkson, Claret and Hughes said we had 35 million to spend before the transfer window begun. We put 8 million down for Fornells. We paid 25 up front for Haller. So that's 33 million. So where has the Arnie money gone?
Well, this is the thing. The Arnie money might still be there. It's only just what people are sort of speculating and things like that. There probably is a bit better money there.
When it comes to that website, right, this is the God's honest truth. When it comes to that website, I think the club give them information to sort of feel the ground, to see if we're all happy with what's gone on. You know what I mean? Say we're skint. See how the reaction is. See how the land lies. Like, if they start reacting positively, saying, "Oh yeah, well they've done their bit," then we know we're done. If they start fucking kicking up a fuss, saying, "No, you ain't done enough," I think that's what happens in these cases. I think they're told to say certain things to see how we react.
I agree with that.
It's never going to go well.
No, I agree with that, and you'll probably find that we'll probably pull out another 8 or 9 million or 10 million for somewhere to sign someone. So this transfer window is definitely not finished for us. As I said, look, if we went out now and got 3 loan players and a couple of free transfers and Pellegrini was happy with it, then that's a good window. As long as Pellegrini's happy with his squad. Listen, us fans, we want to buy 20 players. We want to spend 200 million. That's what we want to. That's what we do as fans. But look, Pellegrini works for the team every day, so he knows what he needs.
Matt Powell says the rest has gone to the women's team. I don't know, mate. Out of all the rumours that have been flying through, who would you be the most pleased as a new signing?
There's been loads in there. There's been a few, but I'm still, and I know every time I say this name, I see the comments come out and I get a little bit of stick for it. But I'd still like to see someone like Balotelli come in at West Ham on a free transfer. I don't think we've got anything to lose. I think he's got something to prove. So I think it'll be good deal. But I'll wait for the comments to come up now and say about Balotelli. But,
more trouble than he's worth.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. You're going to get that. But I just think he might be worth the risk. And if it don't work out, 6 months later, let him go. Let him go in January. Just say it's not worth it.
George Paris says Renato Sanchez.
I
haven't really heard the rumours about. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really heard the rumours about Sanchez, but I know he was very highly rated. Done well in spells at Swansea. I think he was at Swansea. Where is he now? Bayern Munich? Was he Bayern Munich?
Yeah, Munich or Dortmund, one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Munich, to be honest. Yeah, I'd have a go at him if he was cheap enough.
And you've also got the Arsenal boy, El Nene, as well, that's been linked. I mean, I spoke to my mate Lee in work today, who's an Arsenal fan, and he doesn't really rate him that highly. He said he's got potential, but they don't really rate him that highly at Arsenal. And to let someone go for like 8 million, 9 million from Arsenal is... but you never know, he could come in and he could fit in well at West Ham. It's always a gamble, innit, with transfers. Sometimes players don't look good for other teams, but then they come to you and they look world class, you know. So that's just the way football is. Look at Real Madrid, for instance. Look at how Gareth Bale's being treated by Zinedine Zidane. But he's won their highest ever. Like, he's won everything. He won the Champions League 4 times with them, and he's getting treated like that. So it happens in football.
Yeah, it does happen. I'm chuffed last year we wasted money on cheap poor players like Perez, Sanchez, etc. Whereas this year we've decided to go for big or go home. Not as many players to gel into the team too. Come on, you Iron, says Football Talk. Bruce Arby Costa spotted at Starbucks.
I just see someone said there about Glenn Murray. I'd take him as well, because then that'll stop him scoring against us. For
yeah,
once.
just to stop him from scoring. Cliff Schaefer says, given our midfield, are we going to have more shots on goal from outside the box this season?
Yeah, I mean, you look at you got Yarmolenko, who likes to strike. You got Anderson, Lanzini, Fornals. We see Fornals in the Championship in the summer, the under-21s. He likes to strike from outside the box. So, yeah, listen, not only that, they're going to be creating chances for Alea, which is, I'm looking forward to seeing this Alea. I mean, he might get a run out of Fulham at the weekend, but he's probably going to get more minutes against Bilbao. So it'll be his first experience at London Stadium. And yeah, look, if we can get a fully fit team out, then we can trouble anyone on their day. But that's the problem with us down the years. We seem to always pick up a few key injuries that keep them out for long times. We don't get injuries that are 1 or 2 weeks. We get like 6 or 7 months or the season.
Somebody just said, how many pixels have you got now? Yeah, I've still only got the 1 pixel around here somewhere. I don't know. Just ignore it if you can. What is your opinion on 30-plus-year-old goalkeepers? I think it's quite a poor decision by the Pellegrini, because they all look to be at the end of their careers. I disagree with that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't think Fabianski looks like giving it up anytime soon.
No, I think goalkeepers, they can play on until they're like 40, you know, as long as they look after themselves. Fabianski's a great goalkeeper. This Roberto's 32, so he's still sort of young for a goalkeeper, youngish for a goalkeeper. But yeah, look, Nathan Trott's obviously gone out on loan now, which is going to be great experience for him. So next season, you know, he can come back in next pre-season and he can challenge Roberto to make himself number 2.
Well, Buffon's just gone back to Juventus at 41. He'll be banned for Juventus for a year.
What was David James when he played for us? He was in his 40s, wasn't he? So, well, I don't know when he played for us, but he was still playing when he was in his 40s.
Fuck, I think we signed fucking Peter Shilton when he was about 50.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. and he'd be our number 1 now.
Yeah, he'd fucking be. Yeah, he would be our number 1 as well. With Sanchez being slated, funds being tight, would you consider Oxford back up to Rice? says Flynn Prevost.
Yeah, I mean, look, Oxford. When Oxford broke into the first team in that Arsenal game, we was all raving about him, and then he sort of just faded away. And he's been out on loan now to what is it, 3 clubs now? He's been on loan to. So it's a difficult one with Oxford. He hasn't played in pre-season either, so yeah, I don't think he's going to get a first team chance. But yeah, Carlos Sanchez for me is he's a worry. He's a worry that if we're letting Obiang go, that he's going to be the backup. So we need to get someone else in.
If you believed all the rumours, we'd sold Oxford about 4 times.
Yeah, I know. And look, Declan Rice looks like he's going to be the main holding midfielder for us. So it's about building around him. You've obviously got the likes of Jack Wilshere, who's had a great pre-season so far, but he's only 1 tackle away from being out for the year. So I really, honestly, I mean this, fingers crossed for him. I really hope he has a good season for West Ham and stays fit, because he's just showed that little bit of talent in pre-season just by the little drops of the shoulders. And the one thing I love about Jack Wilshere, as soon as he gets that ball, he's looking to play forward. He's not looking to go back. You know, he only goes back when he has to. He wants to play forward. He wants to create stuff. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Someone says I had to see it, but I see 2 missing pixels. If you're talking about this thing here, then that's not a missing pixel.
No, I think they're on about the one down now.
You're pointing. I don't know where you're pointing.
Unless
mate.
That's a fly on your screen or on your windowsill.
Oh, fuck knows. I don't know. Somebody just said, which is an interesting conversation. Where's it gone? Is that about Lampard? Would you warm? Alexandru Vizan says, would you warm up to the idea of Frank Lampard managing West Ham in a few years' time? I'm assuming if he means he does well at Chelsea.
Well, if he's doing well at Chelsea, then he probably won't. It's still be in a job. But look, Frank Lampard's obviously got a history of West Ham. If he come back as a manager, would it be a good choice?
No,
it probably won't go down well with the fans. But if you come in, you win football games. Look, things happen in football. Football's a funny game. I can't personally see it happen, but you never know. You never know. It might happen. If he come back and he started winning games, as you said, then you get behind the team. It don't matter who's your manager. I mean, fucking hell, we've sat there and had Avram Grant and Sam Allardyce and people like that. So if a young English manager is doing well, everyone bangs on about, oh, there's no top British managers don't get a chance in the game. And why not?
I disagree with that. I can never see him managing West Ham. I don't think he'd want to. George Pass says, if this is Jack Wilshere's last season for you, for me, he has another injury. He needs to be gone in January. He needs to be gone for me. Can't have another, if only, case like Carroll. That's from Michael Ferguson. No, it's not. It's from George Parrish. No, I don't think he will be. Guys, he's got 3 years on his contract. Another injury would hamper his progress. Obviously, he's been injured a lot. We knew what we was doing when we signed him. It was probably a bit naive of us to sign him when we had injury-prone players, but we seem to be getting rid of them injury-prone players and moving on from that. Another injury, a short-term injury, wouldn't be the end of the world. But for me, just in them pre-season games, he showed what he could do for us. And I actually think, a 30-game a season Jack Wilshere, if we can keep him fit, would be the absolute difference between us finishing 7th and us finishing 12th.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's about keeping him fit and getting him in the squad, because even though he's been there a year, he hasn't had a lot of first team games at West Ham, Jack Wilshere. So he needs to get used to playing with the likes of Anderson and that week in, week out, Lanzini. And I've seen a couple of questions come up saying, like, can we challenge Arsenal this season? And look, Arsenal are going to be up there. No,
don't ask me. I'm not getting involved in all that.
No, but what I would say is that we might not be up there challenging the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea and Man United and that, but they will be looking over their shoulders at clubs like West Ham, Everton, Leicester, Wolves. You know, they will be looking over their shoulders, because we are doing good transfer business, and it won't be long before one of these teams hopefully it's us, we'll break into that top 6 pushings for the top 4. Because in football, generations of football, times change. You know, you had Liverpool used to dominate the 70s and 80s, then United dominated the 90s and early 2000s, and Arsenal as well, and Chelsea, now City. Who says that in a few years' time, another team might not break into that top 4? Look at Tottenham. You know, as much as we
Well,
hate...
I was just about to say, if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be them.
No, but as much as we hate Tottenham, you've got to sort of admire the way they've done it over the years. They've not really gone out and spent the cash like City, but slowly they've progressed and they've reached the champion. Look, they've got in the Champions League final next year. So next year, they'll be looking to improve again. I hope they don't, obviously, as a West Ham fan, but you've got to sort of admire what they've done.
I do take my hat off to them. I must admit, I went on to my old mate Flav's podcast before the Champions League final, the Spurs podcast, just before we played them at the London at White Hart Lane. We beat them, and I've got a lot of admiration for them. I hate to admit it, but you know, it just. But they're proof that it can be done the right way round. It can be done the right way.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I'm saying. Like they've slowly built it up over the last 10 years. It's not been the last couple of years. It's been the last 10 years. And you look now, Arsenal haven't been in the Champions League for this will be their third, fourth season now. For a club the size of Arsenal, who was in it for 22 years straight, it's massive. But times change, and like I said, we might not be up there competing with them this season, but them teams will be looking at the likes of us, Everton, Wolves, Leicester. And there's probably going to be in the next couple of years another couple of teams that get chucked into that mix.
Robin HPK2 said, Man United had a poor season and finished comfortably 20 points above the rest of us. Top 6 will remain the top 6 for a while yet. Robin, I would agree with you, but I don't agree with you, to be quite honest with you. They finished 20 points above everyone because they got a new manager in, and for some reason they went on some 14, 15 game unbeaten run, about a 10 or 11 game winning streak. And to be fair, mate, they've got players that cost £100 million plus in their ranks. You know what I mean? They should be doing well. You know what I mean? They at one point before Solskjaer come in, they was meant to have the best manager in the world and all this sort of nonsense. This self-proclaimed best manager in the world, and we could have pipped them a couple of times.
Yeah, look, Man United are the biggest club
in the world.
Biggest club in world football, and they're going through probably since Alex Ferguson left. But they've still won. I think they've won the FA Cup. Is it once or twice in that time? So, look, they're a massive club, and they can attract the best players in the world. But at the moment, it's not working out for them. And as I said, you never know. A team like us or Wolves, Leicester, Everton, Southampton, you know, a team like that could break into the top 6 and try challenging. But it's difficult. It's difficult because them teams are a different level sometimes, especially the Man Cities and the Liverpool.
Would you take Morelos? Toasty says.
Yeah, I said this on the social the other day when someone asked me the question. Look, I've seen him play a few times, mainly in Old Firm derbies, so maybe I shouldn't judge him on this because everyone's a bit over the top. But every time I've seen him, he sort of guaranteed to get a booking, guaranteed to cause a row, but he scores goals. I know, look, people will say, yeah, but it's only Scotland. It's only Scottish football, but it's a tough league. And look, he scores goals for the price they're talking as well, 4 or 5 million. He's only 23. So he might be worth a gamble. I'll tell you, he reminds me of El Hadj Diouf. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah,
that's who he sort of reminds me of. So it's just like Balotelli. It'd be a gamble, but he's a younger model.
Matthew Jarvis says thoughts on the Aaron Long reports. Best MLS defender last season. Only £4 as well. If he's only £4, man, I might try and sign him up for the Ironworks.
I'll sign him up and he can cut me grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him. I see the reports about it. So, as you said, he was one of the best defenders in the MLS last season, but I don't really know too much about him.
Christopher Webster says, do you guys think we have a better team player for player than Arsenal overall?
That's a tough one because they've got some. Look, I know that people like Ozil get a lot of stick and he goes missing a lot, but he is a good player. You've obviously got Lacazette, Aubameyang. They're looking to sign Zaha as well. which would be massive for Arsenal if they could get him in. But when you put down our best starting 11 against their best starting 11, you probably find if you'd have gone back 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago and you'd done that, you probably maybe only get one West Ham player in the starting 11 or maybe even none. But now you probably get about 4 or 5 in there, maybe 6.
Frema 007 says Gunners strikers are world class.
Yeah, look, Lacazette and Aubameyang, you can't, any club would love them two up front. And they seem to have a good connection with each other. Probably a better than our internet connection.
Yeah. If you could take 3 players from Spurs, who would you take? Oh, no, nobody.
Well, do you know what? Saying that, mate, I know
Wanyama.
We've been linked with that Wanyama, and I don't think it's going to happen because I know, what's his name, Daniel Levy, don't like dealing with West Ham. So that'll be a tough one. But he would be perfect. Just a perfect missing piece of that puzzle for that midfield, I think. He's a box-to-box player. I know he comes with injuries, but look, that's West Ham. That's what we do. We sign these sort of players. But on his day, I think someone like Declan Rice would benefit from someone like Wanyama.
Nasir Rafiq says, watching from Pakistan, please give me a shout-out, please, mate. Shout out to you, mate. People can keep saying about Gary Medel. We spoke about Gary Medel earlier on in the show, so you'll have to go back to watch that. Ricky Yates, is it right that season ticket holders were allowed to buy additional season tickets when there are around 40,000 people who have paid £10 each to go on a waiting list?
Well, do you know what? I see someone write this on Twitter the other day, and I actually went on the website and selected season ticket. It come up with options to buy them, and you can pick your seat. But when you actually go to pick your seat, it didn't give you the option to buy. So I don't know whether that's a little glitch on the website or it just shows you what season tickets are available. But yeah, look, I've heard rumours and stories that people have been phoned up by the club and offered season tickets. And if that's right, then that's wrong because they've taken £10 off of people for the waiting list. So obviously they should have first choice.
It all goes. If that's true, I can't comment on it because I don't think, I haven't heard of it. You know what I mean? But I buy our season tickets and that's it. You know what I mean? But I haven't heard about that. But I again, I've heard rumours about people, especially towards the end of last year, bringing up people and saying like they're offering them extra season tickets, blah blah blah. And it all goes down to the same thing, really, doesn't it? It's the +2 scheme all over again. And I thought they would have learnt their lesson, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. It's they shouldn't be doing things like that, especially if
they're taking money off people.
Yeah, if they're taking a tenner off people for the waiting list, then no, they shouldn't be doing that. But as I said, it might have just been like a sort of glitch on the website because when I was a bit surprised when it let me go through to that bit, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm not even going to buy a season ticket. I just want to see like if it's true. And yeah, you could, but then it wouldn't let you select a seat. So maybe it's just a little glitch.
Did you get your season ticket today?
I haven't, no, because it gets delivered to my mum's house, so I haven't been round there yet. So
I haven't had mine, but Dan's had his.
Yeah, I've seen it with a Billy Bonds on it.
It's a beautiful ticket.
It's but then all the money they've paid to reprint them when we could have just kept our old ones. People will moan about.
I ain't got my old one, mate. I've had 25 old ones, and
you're on issue 6 at 60 or something like that.
No, I think I'm in issue 16. I think that's my official issue. I think I'm on issue 16 since I've had a season ticket 3 years.
Mental.
Fucking stupid.
But yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you got obviously Trevor Brook in, and then the Bobby Moore one, but I don't know what the other one's going to be. I don't even know the name. It ain't got a name, that stand, is it?
Betway stand, I think it is.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm sure it's the Betway stand. I'm not a member of West Ham, so when I bought a regular ticket against Spurs last season, it cost over £200. Fault, says Liam Burke 558. You're fucking mental for paying that, Liam, if I'm honest. James Gunn says, how many Ballon d'Ors will Haller get while with us?
6.
6, yeah, I'll say 6 as well. Nice even number. Hi, Emma Mandela says, hi guys. Do you think we need to add to the side? I think we need another left back, centre back. Plus, I would sell Cresswell, Sanchez, Ogbonna. I'm 50-50 on him. Too hot and cold. I think we're done selling, if I'm honest. Look, let's talk about Obiang. He's obviously going to depart. Looks like he's going in the next 24 hours. I'll be quite honest with you, mate. I am very, very surprised we've got a fucking profit on him.
Yeah, I mean, what's he going to go for? About 8 million. So
Yeah,
he's,
we
he's
paid
20.
4.
Yeah, he's 27 years old. It's never really worked out for Obiang. I remember when we first signed him, and I thought, he looks like a tidy player. You know, someone that likes to spray the ball about. He got stuck in a bit, but he just seems to have gone backwards, literally like he's passing. He just don't see it for me. And I think it's a good deal for the club as long as we get a replacement in.
He's a player for me. Someone says I'll always remember his Obiang goal against Spurs. Yeah, I'll always remember that as well, mate. That was a ludicrous shot. But for the part, like, he was really good for about a season. Like, really good for about a season when he broke into the first team. It took him a couple of years to break into the first team to get like regular football. But when he broke in, he was really good, and he drove on. Now he's a lot of nothing. He just does nothing. He comes on. He doesn't do anything significant in the game. He doesn't get forward. He you know, you don't notice him. And for me, to get £8 million for a player like him is, you know, it might be this point of he's just had his day at West Ham. He feels a little bit, I don't know whether it's let down because he never quite got to be a first name on the team sheet, did he?
No, he needs to. He's going back to.
Hold on. Sorry, mate. Fletch, you're getting banned, mate. That's fucking disgusting.
That's all right. No one can see that anyway.
Yeah, he's fucking dickhead. True Nicky is our new Kiate. Yeah, go on, mate. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that's a good someone. I think it was someone called FGG said about Kiate as well. It was like him and Obiang both went the same way. They both come in, started off well, and then they just both sort of faded out at West Ham. But Obiang's going to go back to Italy now. He's 27. It's probably the right move for him, if I'm honest. Like I said, never done anything wrong. It just didn't work out for him. That's what happens in football. But as someone said earlier, he'll always be remembered for that screamer that we was there that night when he hit it. It was a David Moyes team that was scraping for their life, and he smashed one in the top corner past probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
From 40 yards, no less.
Yeah.
Obiang is going, but we should sell Sanchez as well. He's worse than Obiang. Yeah, I don't like Sanchez, to be honest. He's here, and I'm going to support him.
Yeah, I'll support him, but I think you find it hard to find someone that actually likes Sanchez. I think every time I go on Twitter and it's just the same thing. Look, it's nothing against him, but I knew when we signed him, I just thought this was sort of like not a panic buy, but it was just someone to come in as a backup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the chat stopped coming through, so we'll just keep on chatting a bit at a minute. What? Go on. Have you got it up? Because it's not coming up for me.
Yeah, mine's still working.
What's the last one you got?
Someone said you got a beauty spot.
It's because I'm beautiful.
A lot of people
man. I'm starting to look a bit homeless with this beard. I've got to get this sorted out before the season starts.
Yeah, you got to have a nice shave.
Mm-hmm. Shave haircut, mate.
Yeah, all off. Go bald, mate.
Yeah, always do. Been going bald for the last 20 years, mate.
And the rest.
Yeah.
All right, someone says here, Umar Aziz. Who starts on the right, Antonio or Yarmolenko?
That's a tough one.
It is because it's... I think they've both had decent pre-seasons. I mean, Antonio obviously got the goal in the first game. But I think Yarmolenko's done all right. I think he's just... You got to remember, he's been out for a long time. So he just needs that bit of match fitness. And I think once he does get that match fitness back, a bit like last season when we signed him, it might take him 3 or 4 games to get into the season. But once he does get ticking, he's going to be a hell of a player. And he's going to score goals for us.
Lucky he's only got a year left, says FGG. Matthew Jarvis says, first season for Haller, how many goals, assists would you be happy with?
Quickly, Bruce Harvey's put, get a perm, where he's put Ricky, but he means Nicky. You're lovely.
I might do, mate. Yeah, with this little beauty spot on the chat, I'll end up looking like Madonna from the 80s.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Please, if you're coming in here to use racist language, you're going to be banned. So please don't do that. What area should we strengthen in, says Tom Bailey. We've spoken about that, Tom. Andrew Bay says Nicky is officially Ricky now. We're rolling with it.
Tricky Ricky.
Ricky. What is our best formation? That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because Pellegrini might want Allaire and Hernandez to play up top together. So then you've got to lose someone out of midfield. It's difficult. It's difficult, but it's a good headache for Pellegrini to have. Like I said, fully fit, it's going to be tough for him to pick an 11. But we know at West Ham that we sort of pick up these injuries, and then the 11's not that hard to pick.
Who would be your 11? It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, the back four would obviously Fabianski in goal, but the back four I'd play Fredericks, Diop, Balbuena, and see this is the left back because defensive I'd go Creswell, but I just don't think he's up to it yet. So I'm going to have to stick Masuaku there. Midfield I'd have Rice holding, and then I'd probably have Yarmolenko, Wilshere, Fornals, Anderson, and it's difficult because you're leaving Lanzini out. It's so difficult, and I've not seen Fornals play, and I've left Mark Noble out as well. There's other players, Antonio, Snodgrass. It's difficult at the moment. I can see Antonio maybe playing more as a striker this season. I think that might be Pellegrini's sort of backup plan, that get one more striker in, and then he's got Allaire, Hernandez, Antonio, and whoever he brings in. So it's difficult, mate. I can't even name you a starting 11 now because, like I said, I've not seen Fornals in a West Ham shirt yet. I've seen him play for Spain, but dropping Lanzini's harsh.
Philip Dimacoli says, Nicky, have you ever been compared to the Mitchell brothers? Well, funny story, mate. I actually auditioned to be a third Mitchell brother back in the day, and they told me to fuck off. They weren't looking for anyone. Bruce Harvey says,
"Don't lie. You went for the Peggy Mitchell."
Peggy Mitchell, yeah, that's it. Bruce Harvey tells me jokes. He is an absolute bottle job. Lanzini needs to step up this season. Great signings to bring on, says FGG.
I totally agree, mate. I think Lanzini does have to step up this season. You can sort of let him off a little bit last season because he was out for a long time. But this season's a big season for him because he's been there. What? This will be his fourth season there at West Ham. Is it his fourth? When we signed him,
I think it is. Last season of the Bowling. Yeah, this will be his fourth. Yeah,
the fourth season. So, there's a lot of pressure on him. There's a lot of pressure on Anderson as well. There's a lot of pressure on all the team, on all the players this season because we need to improve on last year and we need to get off to a good start. We can't have another start like last season. But with looking at the fixtures we've got, we shouldn't have a bad start. But look, that's Premiership football. You never know.
Joey O'Brien says, Antonio's class at right wing, pretty good at right back, but not a fan of him as striker, to be honest. I disagree with that because I think he's a good header of the ball, which I think in a modern game can get you good games. And he's got raw power as well. I like him. And with Carroll gone, I think as an aerial threat, I think he's probably the best we've got. Andrew Do says, Nicky, I'm from America and you are a proper good dude. This channel is what propelled me from being a casual to a diehard West Ham fan. I'm good to see that, Andrew. One thing I do have to say, Ryan, before we go, I don't agree with some of the stick that these Chinese fans are getting for supporting their club, to be honest.
No, I mean, me and you spoke about earlier on the phone, and and the worst thing is, mate, I can understand when you get like rival fans taking the mickey out, but I've seen posts and on Facebook and Twitter of our own fans mocking them for the look. You should be proud that fans in Asia and China want to wear our colours, represent our colours abroad. Because usually over the years it's always been like the Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal. Then you had Chelsea, now Man City. But I thought we had great support out there, and also we had some fans from England go over there, which is unbelievable to do in pre-season. It's hardcore to do that. But yeah, look, I just don't see the point of people taking the piss out of fans that because they're from China and they support West Ham and they're singing Bubbles, and obviously like their English is probably not as good as probably their English is better than mine. You know what I mean? Sometimes, but yeah, I just thought it was a bit of a disgrace.
I think it's crass. I don't see the point of, You hear this thing about we're family so many times. You know what I mean? West Ham family, West Ham family, West Ham family. Listen, they were singing their hearts out, mate. I was, you know, I'm proud that we're sort of like getting the recognition abroad that we, you know, we need. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was proud of them boys for standing up there singing their right. They had their flags out. You know, one guy said that, you know, he'd been supporting the club for 30 years. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah. That bloke actually follows me on Twitter, and
yeah,
I see his post, and that's what I'm saying. That, look, they don't get West Ham. West Ham don't go out to China often. You know, we
mm.
don't go out to these. I think the last time was what 10 years ago, when we was in it with Tottenham, and I can't remember the other two teams. But yes, it's look, I just don't get it. I really don't. And when you see your own fans mocking it, because I just think that some of our fans think, oh, you got to be West Ham, you got to be from London, you got to be from East London, or you're not worthy of supporting West Ham if you live outside the M25 or whatever. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, grow
Look,
up.
to be honest with you, when I look at West Ham fans, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a local boy. I grew up a stone's throw from Upton Park. We was just up the road. We was all born in Canning Town. Me, you, Scott, and Graham. To be quite honest with you, they was a bit closer. Even Graham was a bit closer. He was at Plastow.
Graham was probably born in the old South Bank.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So we are lucky enough. You know, I remember riding my bike up to the club shop every day to go and have a look at the new kit when we didn't have any money to spend and all that sort of thing. So I'm lucky enough that I've always grew up in here. I live a bit further out now. I live in like near Basildon, and I know most of us have moved out to sort of like sort of fringe Essex way. But I was lucky enough. But I must admit, of all the people I know, there are not many people that I know that were grown up in the Upton Park area, the sort of East London area. I know Nick was born in Reading. Burnley Nick. He lives in Burnley. Diehard fan. You know what I mean? I know Gio, obviously Scottish. You know what I mean? He's one of that guy. Fucking travels 10 hours on a fucking coach every time he comes down, and then 10 hours back every weekend to watch a game of football. I know Slav gets up at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, that lives in Slovakia. You know what I mean?
And you know what?
I think Gonzo lives over like West London somewhere.
Can
You
I
know
just
what I mean?
quickly say, they all got there before you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Ricky Yates said, I just see that come through, Ricky. I was wondering what that was. Right, Ricky, I've sent an email to West Ham Fan TV with an email from West Ham for season ticket holders to buy additional season tickets if you fancy to read. I'm going to read that. We'll talk about it on the next live show.
Oh, that's another video Nicky's going to make.
No, do you know what? Look, I'll say as I see. That's not, I'm not digging at the club. You know what I mean? We do for entertainment purposes. I had someone the other week telling us about Socios. You know what I mean? I've said my thing on Socios. I've let people know about Socios. I don't, I'm not getting involved in any active, what's it called? Active politics or anything like that. I've said my thing. People know my faults. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with it. You know what I mean? I can't hold people's hands. When is the other bald bloke going to be on?
Who's the other ball? Oh, Dan. I don't know. When's he going to get back on?
Yeah, he's been doing videos and stuff, and he was on here the other day.
Yeah, we done the live show the other day. There's been no transfers. See, when West Ham don't spend, you don't get no Dan.
Nicky makes the best little documentary. What a pro! Thanks, Bruce. It's something that I like doing. I like fucking about with things for hours and hours and hours for a couple of minutes worth of entertainment. Kyle English, West Ham is a mentality. It's not about where you're from. It's about who you believe in. I totally agree.
That goes for any football club.
Yeah,
any football fan. Look, you've got your loyalty. You've got your colours that you've chosen, your club that you follow. Look, it don't matter where you're from.
Stevie Warboy says, "How is Scott? I hope he's all right." Yeah, Scott. I was speaking to him today. Actually, he's going to get back to normal. I think soon.
Dan's not bald. He's a cute baby.
Kieran Eldridge, don't forget to give the Belgian Hammers a shout out. They travel to every home game. True support that. Listen, anyone that travels from anywhere got my respect. Anyone, anybody.
Yeah, you've
Belgian
got.
hammers,
We
the
know.
Benidorm hammers, the Australian hammers, the
We
Melbourne
know.
hammers, the
We
Dublin
know.
hammers.
What's his name? Norman, the Maltese hammer, comes over every home game and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
near enough every single away game. So, yeah, it's fantastic support, and it takes a lot. You know, we moan about getting up sometimes to come down to the ground, and you've only got an half hour journey. Like some people do, like 10, 12 hour journey. You know, it's ridiculous.
It doesn't.
All for 90 minutes of football when you look at it that way. But they make a day of it. You know, some people only go to the game. Some people want to make a day of it.
Yeah, look, if you're travelling to any game, you know what I mean. I go to most of the away games, mate. The worst thing in the world. I wake up some mornings, I think I can't deal with this today. Do you know what I mean? And like, fucking, I'm not ashamed to say it. You know what I mean? Like travelling all the way down up to Manchester or Burnley or something like that for 3-4 hours. It gets on my fucking wick, to be quite honest with you. I'll say that wholeheartedly. When I get there, I have a good time, but the travelling does my head in. So if you're going to do that for every home game as well, you know, more power to you. Hello, Nicky and Ryan. How are you? From Michael.
I'm all right, Michael. How are you?
Peter Wright says, born and bred Canning Town. Me too, mate. But proud of these Chinese fans. Yeah, me too. Me too. Andrew Bay, it's great to become an international. It's great to become international and just have people from all over come support. Just go to make sure it don't become soulless and sanitised like Arsenal.
Gary Page says, do you remember Murkoff's ice cream? We was only talking about this the other day.
Hey, listen.
You can't. Murkoff's is number one.
Murkoff's ice cream was a staple of my childhood, as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was that and the little hot dog van in Rathbone Market.
Yeah, mate, yeah. Right next to the pet stall.
I think he's still there.
Yeah, I think he is as well, yeah. The pet
He's right.
definitely is.
No, but the little hot dog stall surrounded now by all these massive buildings in Rathbone Market, but he's just got a little hot dog stall there. I don't think they're 50p anymore, though, mate.
It was 50p, mate. I used to bang them. Hey, Nick Hughes, Obdiang. Have we found a new nickname for Grady? Also, what do you think of the third kit launched? Grady versus Rice dance battle.
Oh, Declan Rice looked like he just come out of a nightclub in Ibiza, didn't he?
Listen, do you know what? He's getting a lot of stick from opposition fans. Do you know what? Right, there are so many players in this planet, right? And do you know what the worst thing was? We was getting stick from Man United fans. They got fucking Paul Pogba who don't stop fucking dancing. You know?
No, hang on. They got Jesse Lingard, mate.
Jesse Lingard, yeah, some of the fucking shit that he comes out with every day. But they was all that, you know, they're all having a look. Declan Rice is a character which I'm very proud of at West Ham. He's so down to earth. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He, you know, he looks like he's having a great time. I've seen him. People saying he looks like he's on drugs. I see him dancing with tubes. You know, when he was doing that thing now.
Yeah,
he's just living his best life. You know what I mean? The geezer's 21 years old nearly. He's playing Premier League football at the top level. He's playing for England. He's living his best life. You know what I mean? People love him. He loves the people. Leave him alone.
Yeah, just let him enjoy himself. It's better to see a football player acting like that than being a prima donna who don't want nothing to do and act silly in front of. You know, fans like to see that. It just shows that they're normal people with a fucking dream job.
That's right. Chloe Hawks, what do you guys think about the third kit?
Do you know what? Funny enough, I was just about to say that because I went in the Lakeside shop on Saturday to have a look at it.
So did I.
And do you know what? I like it. The only thing I don't like is the pattern, the diamond, the Umbro pattern in the background.
Yeah,
and I agree with what you said last week. I think the badge and the Umbro should have been in the same colour, like pink. I think it would stand out more and look better. But I still, the away kit is just too much. It's too nice.
Yeah, the away kit is top.
Have you noticed as well with the sponsor? Have you felt the sponsor this year?
Yes, it's like a grippy material.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's much better. It's not like that, like this, like
glossy sort of
glossy shit. It's like a proper nice.
Murkoff was the bollocks pie and mashed down Rathbone at dinner time from Cumberland School. Percy Ingalls, Ills and the fishmongers at Rathbone Market. Sad to see Canning Town now, totally different. Ricky, I went to Cumberland School, mate. What year was you in? Matt Powell says, Ryan, do you look like...
I just want to say there, fuck Cumberland, I went Eastleigh.
Ian Glander, hope you boys are well. Nice to hear from you, Ian. Talking about Rice realistically, how long can we keep hold of him? Keep up the good work, lads.
Hello, Ian. Yeah, look, Declan Rice, you hope he's there for years to come. I mean, he signed a 5-year deal, didn't he? last season. So even if we keep him for that 5 years, he'll only be 25. So he's I want to say he's going to be the future captain of West Ham, and I hope that we can keep him for as long as we can. But it will be tough because every transfer window, he's going to get linked, and every England game he plays, he's going to get linked even more. He's going to go to the very top, and I really hope it's with West Ham, but it's going to be tough. But let's just enjoy Declan Rice while we've got him.
Connor United, do you know Brentwood Boys School? Not really, but I'm assuming it's in Brentwood, mate. But I can't say I've ever heard of it. No. Brampton Manor Boys, says Richard Taggart. Tom Calder says Brampton Manor as well. Ryan, did you say you went to Eastleigh?
Yeah, Eastleigh School in Canning Town.
Dean Jones, born in Newham General, grew up in Plaistow and now live in Basildon. Love our full areas.
Look, Pete, I know this is turning into a food subject, but Peter's just put pie and mash in at Hermit Road. George's pie and mash.
George's, mate. George's. Every Saturday or Sunday.
Mate, don't, you're making me hungry. I had my dinner before I done this show. I want to eat again. It's like when you eat your dinner and then you watch Man vs. Food and you just like, you just get hungry again. Like, right, no more pie and mash and George's. And
me, you, Gareth, 2-2.
Oh, mate.
Saturday. P&M. You come with P&M.
You just go and play football over Eastleigh Fields from 8 to about 12, then go and get pie and mash and then come back about 2 and carry on playing football. Those were the days, mate, before social media and iPads and YouTube and...
Yeah. Noble's got 60 minutes left in him. Kyle Axel says, player of the year, I think Yarmolenko or Anderson. Yarmolenko, that's a good shout.
What for? Hammer of the year?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, before he got injured last year, he was on his way.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, he's definitely going to, if he stays fully fit, he'd definitely be in contention. You got another Anderson as well, will be up there. One thing I will say is I don't think it's going to be Fabianski this year. I think it's going to be an outfield player. And I think Haller could get 20 goals in his first season and he could be hammer of the year. So you never know. It's going to be exciting. Fornals could turn out to be an absolute gem. So it's going to be interesting.
Our Bolt says BJ's on the Barking Road near Balaam Street. I've got a good story about BJ's as it happens. On my last day of school, you know, when you get all your shirt and book signed and all that sort of stuff, I was in BJ's, right? And I used to love my pie and mash. I used to love it. Yeah. And as we were sitting there, it was the very last day of school, right? And I had a big fucking spoonful of pie, right? With loads of liquor on it. Yeah. And as I lifted my spoon up, Rio Ferdinand pulled up right outside, right? He parked right outside, yeah. And he was driving a Jaguar at the time, a silver Jaguar, I'll never forget it, right? And I think he was going out with one of the girls that used to work in the beauty shop across the road, right? And it was at the time when me, you and Gareth used to go to the training ground quite a lot. So we'd met them quite a lot. I think actually we'd been a couple of days previous, right? But obviously everyone's got pens and but it's not like these days when you've all got phones and all that. But because it's the last day of school, everyone's got a fucking marker on them. Everyone's got a book. Everyone's got a fucking T-shirt that you can sign, yeah? So they've all dashed out to him to see him. Like all my mates have you're sitting on them benches. I'm on the edge, right? As they've dashed out to him, one of them have caught my arm and I flicked the fucking pie and mash in my face and it all fucking burnt my face, all dripped down all over my shirt and all that sort of stuff. Just because Rio Ferdinand, I was absolutely fucking.
Well, if you knew back then what you know now, you should have gone out there and chucked a pie at him.
yeah. Ian Glenn, 20 goals, Ryan. Who was the last West Ham player to score 20 goals in a season? I know that it was Ian. That was Tony Cottee back in '86.
Yeah, Tony Cottee. Plus, didn't John Hartson got not league goals, but John Hartson got 25, didn't he?
Yeah,
25, something like that.
25 in 97. 97, 98, I think that was.
What a player he was.
Yeah, I love John Hartson. Matt Powell, wish we never got rid of favourite manager. Who's the favourite manager? You got to tell us a little bit more information, mate. Shang Sanga, who was your favourite player of all time? Mine was Scott Parker.
Yeah, look, mine was Julian Dix, absolute legend at West Ham. Loved him to bits, still do to this day. I wish we had more Julian Dixes in our dressing room at the moment or on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine was Paolo.
Oh yeah, look, Paolo's different gravy, isn't he? Like the thing is with me is I love the flair players, because look, it might not go down well, but Paul Gascoigne was one of my favourite players. I loved watching him for England. But I just loved Julian Dix because he was just that hard nut on the pitch that just didn't give a shit. I loved it.
I met Ryan 25 years ago.
Yeah, it must be now. Yeah.
What are we now? I'm 30, yeah, 25 years ago. When I first met Ryan, this is why we clicked straight away. My mate Gareth introduced us because we started that school in about 94. We was going back to school. And sort of I met my mate Gareth at the school. He lived like 2 minutes up the road from me. So he said to me, "Oh, not for me after school, blah, blah, blah." We had a fight on that first day. But he said, we become good friends, like still are good friends to this day. To come up the road, I live at wherever up the road there. And I met Ryan. That was the first time. And we both was wearing the same shirt. And I had, it was a cream shirt, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, the cream third kit, yeah. Was it a third kit or away kit?
It was
an away kit, wasn't it?
No, I think it was the third kit. I don't know. Yeah, listen. He had the one kit on. I had the other kit on. I had Williams on the back. He had Dick's back. He had hair, right? And I was a bit jealous because I used to like my hair cropped, right? And my mum wouldn't let me shave it off for some reason. You know what I mean? Back when I had a lot of hair, I looked like a fucking syrup. And he had a fucking buzz cut. And I mean, down to the skin.
Mate, yeah, I remember it. I used to have that up until about the age of 16 before I started going out drinking because, like, it was tough because I had a little baby face. You couldn't get in pubs with a skinhead. You had to grow a bit of hair and gel it all forward.
That was down to the skin, like I have mine now.
Yeah, man.
Thinking, Jesus. And it was all because of Dixie.
Oh, mate. I used to rip my shirt as well, my collar, like Dixie. Yeah. I remember my mum bought me the centenary kit and I fucking ripped it. And she, mate, she whacked me right around the fucking back of the head. Like, because back in them days, like now because you're old enough and you work, you can go out and buy a new shirt whenever you want. Like when you're a kid, you get them for your birthday or Christmas. That's it. Like back in them days. But yeah, I got a wallop. It was worth it.
Bruce Harvey says Nicky had a perm. Funny shit. It wasn't quite a perm. It was more like a French crop.
You did, man. You look like Mr. Perfect.
John Lyle was the best manager. Who's the best manager we've ever had, Ryan, in your lifetime?
Well, I wasn't around when like Greenwood and John Lyle. But look, John Lyle and Greenwood are absolute legends of West Ham. We've grown up knowing all their stories and things like that. But in my time, I'd probably say I enjoyed the Harry Redknapp era. I enjoyed that era. I thought Alan Pardew, when he first come to us, was a good manager. Slaven Bilic's first season as manager of West Ham will be one that none of us will ever forget. So I'll probably say I'll probably go for Harry Redknapp in the sort of late 90s when we had that squad of Di Canio, Sinclair.
Come fifth as well.
Come fifth, yeah. We had a great team spirit. It was always not only for being a manager, but just how he was as a person, letting the fans in the training ground, meeting the players, always had time. We met him just before Christmas and he had loads of time for us. He stood there and chatted to us for about 20 minutes and everyone went to speak to him because he just won I'm a Celebrity, but he had time to stand there and talk to us. So, yeah, I enjoyed that era of football. But
he's a dodgy fucker, but he is a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, he's dodgy as fuck. But, look, I wish I was around in the John Lyle and Greenwood days just to have seen what it was like.
Listen, you've got a good story about Redknapp at Wembley. I'll tell you what, let's do that. We'll take one more question and then we'll leave. Because we've been on here for an hour and 16 minutes. It's meant to be an hour show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I went on a school trip, England played Sweden in the Euro 2000 qualifiers. And we done a school trip. And me and my mate, we lost our teacher. We lost the party. So we didn't even have a ticket. So, funny enough, we was at the training ground, West Ham training ground, the day before on the Friday. And it was when the Fila kit come out. So I got it that Friday and I wore it to the England game. I don't know why, but I just thought I want to show off my new West Ham shirt. We didn't have a ticket, and back then I didn't even have a mobile phone. It was like you're talking about '99, so I didn't have a mobile phone. I was like 16 years old, or 15 years old, sorry. And we see Harry Redknapp going into the turnstile. So we I don't know why, but we run after him, and we just said like, "Oh, Harry," and he went, "Hello, boys, how you doing?" Because he obviously recognised us from when like the day before, and we used to go training ground quite a lot. And he recognised. He said, "Oh, here, boys, have a couple of tickets." And I was like, "Oh, cheers, mate." And I looked at them, and they said like Olympic Gallery on them. I was like, oh, fucking hell. So me and my mate went in there and we went round. The stewards wouldn't let us in at first, but then we managed to get out there and we were sitting. This was when Des Lynam used to do Gary Lineker weren't even on, like, doing the punditry at the time. And he was sitting next to us and he had his little son, George, with him. And yeah, we got in and we went in there. There was all people in suits in that. And I'm in like a West Ham tracksuit and West Ham shirt. And there was a couple of weeks later, round your house, you was reading Hammers News. And you're laying there and you're reading out a story. And it's like, from a Brentford fan, I think it was. Was it a Brentford fan or Bradford fan?
Yeah, I think it was a Bradford fan.
A Brentford fan sort of rung in and sort of writ in and said, oh, I was at the England game a couple of weeks ago and I see Harry Redknapp and I see two young West Ham fans speaking to Harry and he gave them a pair of tickets. And I was like, oh, shut up, Nick. We did. And you showed me it was in Hammers News. And do you know what? I've still got my ticket from that game.
And that little clip.
Gary Lineker's signature and the clip at the Hammers News magazine.
You know what the worst thing was? That Hammers News that you cut it out of was my Hammers News because you took it to show Gareth. It never come back. You cut the article out and I never got to read the rest of it.
What was it, £1.50?
It cost me £2.50.
I owe you £2. Well, you kept the rest of the magazine, so I owe you 50p.
And you got my Beckham book and my England versus Netherlands 4-1.
And Scream 3 on Pirate DVD.
All right, let's take one more question. West Ham related. Who's got a question? Come on, let's get one more question in. I want a good one.
Am I Jack Wilshere's brother? I wish.
You look like him, and he's a West Ham fan.
I wish.
Yeah. No one's got a question. Don't look like.
No, we've bored them on. We've bored them.
I think we've bored them with our stories. Right. Okay. Sandfield's just got the first question in. How many goals would you be happy from with Haller for his price tag?
Yeah, look, you obviously want to see we want to see him score 20 plus goals. We'd love that, but realistically, if he gets anything between sort of 12 and 15, I still think that'd be a decent return in his first season in English football. But as I said, with the chances he's going to get next season, that's what it comes down to as well. Players like Anderson, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Antonio, all these players, Wilshere, they've got to provide him with the opportunities. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, mate. I think he's going to be an exciting player for us, and I think it's going to be a decent season next season for West Ham.
I agree. Yeah, that's it. I think.
Right, this is one for you. One last question. Lewis Warren, Di Canio or Payet, who was better at the top of their game? I can't even believe you're thinking about this.
It's Payet.
No,
I'm telling you now. It is. Look, I love Paolo. I loved his passion.
So both on top form.
Yeah, I think
a prime Di Canio and a prime Payet.
Well, Di Canio, we got the best out of him, but it wasn't in his prime. He's 31 when he come to us. If we'd have got him when he was 26, 27, yeah, I think he would have been head and shoulders above Payet. But just for like, I love Paolo. Maybe it's the team we played in, and maybe it's the performances around the the players that we had at the time. But I think just for influencing game and, taking games by the scruff of the neck, Paolo could do it. No doubt about it, and he did do it. But Payet seemed to do it every single game he played.
I thought Paolo looked better than Payet in Mark Noble's testimonial. Honestly, listen, Payet give us unbelievable memories and a great season, but Di Canio for me was a joy to watch, a pleasure to watch, and he's an absolute legend at West Ham. And as you said, he dragged us through games. So did Payet, but Di Canio for me just edges it because of he's Di Canio.
Yeah, I'll say Payet. I'll say Payet at the back of his game. At the back of his game, at the top of his game.
You know that picture you got with Di Canio?
Yeah.
Take it down. You don't deserve it no more.
Payet was invisible for a lot of games, in my opinion.
Do you know what? I do agree. Sometimes he did go missing in games, but he made up for it with free kicks and whatever he done that season. Love him or hate him, he was a joy to watch, and that season, I've always said it, the last at the Bowling was a special season and we needed a special player and we got that for one season. So he can just be on the memories now.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much for Ben Davis just says TT Kamara is absolute shite.
What? He's a legend. TT.
Do you think Pyatt regrets leaving, says Richard Taggart?
100%. 100%. And I think Arnautovic as well will regret leaving. He might have the money and all that now, but when he looks back on the end of his career, just like Pyatt, I know he went out and he had a decent start to his career in Marseille, but look, you don't hear of him no more. You never heard of him before he come to West Ham, and you don't really hear him after he's left West Ham. The Premier League is, if you want to make your name, the Premier League is where you got to be. It doesn't matter what club you play for in the Premier League.
Stevie Warboys makes a good one before we go. I keep on saying we're going to go, but we're not. Parker dragged us through a whole season. I think Parker dragged us through about 3 seasons, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of stick because he moved to Tottenham, but I think Parker goes down as a great for West Ham. I mean, we sat there in them seasons and we watched some absolute shit at the Bowling Ground, but Parker was the main reason why you turn up, because if you see his name on the team sheet, he was getting man the match every week. Even when he didn't play, the geezer used to say Parker man the match. He was unbelievable for us, and he got Hammer of the Year. What was it? 3 times? Was he 3-time Hammer of the Year?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
But then again, he didn't really have a lot of competition, did he?
No, that's the thing. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in the live chat. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you again later on this week. I believe it's going to be. Do you know what day it's going to be, Ryan?
Thursday or Friday?
Thursday, I think. Thursday, because I think I'm out Friday. Thank you very much for getting involved in the live chat. It's been a fantastic live show. Some great little stories as well. I want to get more of that sort of personal vibe, you know what I mean? We are looking to start a podcast as well in the next couple of weeks for the beginning of the season. We've got all the equipment ready to get ready of that. So we're going to try and drag in some guests and all that. So it's not always the same thing.
We'll try to get a guest on here soon.
Definitely. 100%. I loved it when Kevin and Gio come on. We'll look for a guest to come on in there. Maybe one of our own boys will come on.
Yeah, I
haven't fucking seen them all summer.
Let's get Scott on. See if Scott wants to come on.
Yeah, I'll ask him this week. Thank you very much for guys being involved in the live chat. As I said, always a pleasure to talk to you all. You're the guys that support this channel. If you're new around here, please click the subscribe button. It helps us out greatly. Leave a thumbs up. Click the bell notification so every time these go live, you'll always see them, and you can click on them and watch and join along as we are. These live shows are going to carry on through the season. They're not stopping. They'll even be incorporated on match day mornings, I think. Make your mind up, Nicky. Stop sitting on the fence. I don't know. What am I sitting on the fence about?
You look like you are literally sitting on the fence.
Do you know what? I look like one of them guys. You know the little guys that used to draw looking over a little wall?
I would love to see one day.
With the nose.
I'd love to see you one day sitting doing these live things and like the neighbour just puts their hand over and slaps you right on the top of the head.
But thank you very much for joining us, boys. One thing left to say, Ryan.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.